Daniel Warren Johnson takes Beta Ray Bill and his crew to hell as the hero heads to Muspelheim in search of Twilight, the sword of Surtur, which Bill thinks will help him find his true self again. Daniel Warren Johnson again gives us an amazing portion of his Beta Ray Bill storyline, upping the action and adventure this time round with some cool new twists to Bill's journey to find his real self. I thoroughly enjoyed the character work he's doing with Skuttlebutt, with not only giving her a body, but also the ability to transform the ship into many different things to suit the team's needs, and even a weapon for Bill to use. Given how genuine Daniel has been with the characters so far, in that we know exactly what each one of them wants, I'm intrigued he didn't really do that with Skuttlebutt, making me think that she'll either turn on Bill sometime in the next 2 issues, especially since she was given her humanoid form thanks to the power of Muspelheim, which isn't exactly a power for good. It's interesting as well that Bill is surrounded by all of these people who are telling him he's okay the way he is, but he hasn't quite listened to them yet, so I'm looking forward to that moment of clarity he'll no doubt get once he takes Surtur's sword. Daniel's artwork again this issue was just perfection, giving us some really stylized and great looking action set pieces and unique action set pieces as well, involving boats and submarines, as well as Scourge finally getting to let loose with his arsenal of guns. Beta Ray Bill issue 3 was another hit out of the park for Daniel Warren Johnson and Beta Ray Bill, who continues to get some really great character development alongside his friends and other team members. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Beta Ray Bill issue 3 finds the robot Skuttlebutt confronting Bill, Scourge and Pip, telling Scourge to put his gun down. Bill asks how this is possible, so the robot says that Muspelheim changed her. Scourge asks if Bill knew his ship was a woman, but Bill didn't, only knowing her as the ship. Scut says that she still is, but something about this dimension awakened something in her. In the fiery pits below, a group of goblins pray to the Great Blaze and to Surtur and the Forever Fire, seeing Skuttlebutt above them in the sky, so they gather their weapons and fly towards it. As Bill and the team try and sort things out, the Fire Goblins fire their rocket launchers at the ship, damaging it. Scourge demands they fire back, but Scut says the sensors are down and repairs are coming online, but the battlements will need to be manned manually. Scourge and Pip race to the guns, getting strapped in and blasting the attacking goblins, but Pip notes there are too many of them as a group of them fly towards the ship's engines with bombs strapped to them. The goblins blow out the engines as Scut says that they are going down. Bill sees a mountain cover below them, wanting to use it to evade the goblins, but Scourge says that there is a lava lake there as well, liking how Bill thinks. Scut says that there is no way to get under there without crashing into the lake, but if she can now take on a robot form, who's to say she can't change the ship into a literal ship? Transforming the spacecraft into a boat, Scut lands safely on the lava as the goblins are all killed by the fire. Bill tells Scut that she did it as Scourge congratulates her as well, telling everyone it's beer time. In the galley, Scut knows that there will be more of those goblins out there, showing the team what they worship. Bill knows the horned being to be Surtur, meaning that they must be his followers. Bill asks Scut how she is after the battle, learning the ship is repairing itself but the lava is already damaging her hull, so they need to find a way out soon. But they could just go back down into it, since Odin said that Twilight was at the very bottom of Muspelheim, so it makes sense if they keep going down, and thanks to her scans of the burning seas, the current flows down like it's draining out of a tub. Pip wonders how they could even know what's down there, but Scut says that her scans read something very powerful is underneath them, and it's the strongest power source in the entire place. Scut says that she is rearranging her structure as she goes, so she can compensate for the heat, but was planning on traveling on the surface of the sea until they are above the opening, since that way she doesn't have to spend time submerged. Bill is fine with how they are going as long as it gets him the sword. Later on, Scut meets with Bill at the ping pong table, telling him the preparations are coming along, but she wants to talk with him one-on-one, but knows this must be a little awkward for the man. Bill admits it is, but Scut has an idea to break the ice, so the two begin playing ping pong, with Bill complimenting Scut on her skill. The robot says that she's watched Bill play a lot, asking the man what's going through his mind. Bill says that for his whole life, the ship has just been a piece of metal and a voice in the ether, but now she is there in the flesh, or should he say steel, and she's talking differently now, asking how she became like this. Scut wishes she knew, since ever since she met with Odin and Thor, Her tech has been forced to marry with magic of the gods, but her systems have always coexisted perfectly. But in Muspelheim, the power changed and how she sees things, so she became less of a computer and more of herself. Bill doesn't really understand, so Scott says it's like when he gets these moments where everything makes sense, but they are fleeting and go away very quickly. Bill understands that since he gets them as well. So Scott says it's like that, and she's had one of those moments, but she didn't forget it, and she keeps knowing. She realizes that she never asked why they came there, wondering what happened on Asgard. Bill says that he became aware of his real self, kind of like Scott, but the robot thinks that sounds like a bad thing. Bill doesn't say anything, so Scott decides to show him something, taking him to a room which Bill thinks was just storage, but is revealed to be a record room that Scott has been building, having kept hard copies of their time together, and she put all the hard copies here while the other copies live within her systems, and as long as she continues to function, they will exist. Bill had no idea she was doing this, as Scott reveals that that's not all, as she splits herself in half, revealing she made an axe for Bill. She says that she knows that there are plenty of weapons on the ship and he's on his way to get a new one, but she thought he could use something special for the journey. Bill is utterly impressed with the weapon's make, thanking Scott for the weapon, as the robot says that they could still turn back from this. But Scourge contacts them, telling them to get up to the command bridge. Once up there, Bill learns that the goblins are coming in fast on their own boats, as Scott says that they are still 2 miles out from the opening, so they need to buy her some time. Pip wants to use the guns on board the ship, but Scott tells her they are powered down due to the repairs that she is making, so Scourge gets his own guns out, knowing they'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Scourge gives Pip one of his guns as they get ready for the goblins, and Pip asks what it's like for Bill's ship to be alive, but the man says it's just weird, as Scourge opens fire, prompting the goblins to launch themselves at the ship. Bill is waiting for them though, using his new axe to cut them in half with ease. Scott says she is almost there as the team blast and chop away at the invading goblin forces. Pip warns the team of this giant spider-like creature descending on them, so Bill activates his axe's thrusters, throwing it at the beast and cutting it in two, as Scourge finds the slaughter so beautiful. The creature explodes in the lava next to the ship as the team retreat inside thanks to Scott getting ready to dive. The ship, now turned into a submarine, dives into the lava as Scott is overcome with pain, saying her hull is at 50%, but she can make it. Scourge knows that there is a lot of red dots appearing on the ship's systems, dots that used to be green, as the hull falls to 20%, but they soon see the opening. Scourge punches the thrusters, causing the ship to speed out of the hole and into a dark void. Bill tells the now offline Scott that they did it, as they find themselves falling fast towards a giant eldritch abomination.